Okay, hello, book lovers, and welcome to Book Talk Radio Club. My name is Claire Harris, and today I'm talking to author, certified life coach, and certified passion test facilitator, Heather D. Mahoney. Once stuck in life with no clear idea of where she wanted to go, she rerouted herself and changed direction. To help others who've reached a similar dead end, she created Designing Your Life's Roadmap, 8 pathways to guide your exit from the Pretender Highway. Heather lives in Hollywood, Florida, with her dog Henley and her son Emerson when his life's journey brings him home from college. Hi, Heather. First of all, welcome and thank you for coming to talk to me on Book Talk Radio Club about your
Oh,
book.
thank you for the
Li-
invite. I so appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Why the title Designing Your Life's Roadmap?
Well, the title came about because I was struggling to figure out how to name it. It was first a Pretender Highway, and later on, my editor and I decided, you know what? It's not about necessarily pretending, it's about designing a life. So after several hours of trying to figure out what words work, design came up and roadmap just seemed to fit perfectly in the genre that we're trying to create about a roadmap.
So, what's the Pretender Highway? Can you explain that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
Can you explain what the Pretender Highway is?
The Pretender Highway is about living your life in two different forms. There's the public life that you live in, and then there's the private side. And the Pretender Highway is trying to match you so that you're not pretending out on the public side what you really are on the private side.
That's interesting. It's a good point. The book is a self-directed journey of discovery created as a road trip through life's successes and challenges. It's designed to be completed by two people, the Pathfinder and the Partner Navigator, who ask provocative questions to move towards their goals. Well, this is interesting. Tell me more about the Pathfinder and the Partner Navigator, please.
Well, the Pathfinder is that independent voice that you yourself can't find or figure out on your own. Whereas the Pathfinder is that person that's searching, but not really answering or asking the right question. So the Pathfinder is there to help you find the right questions to answer.
Okay, okay. Then you've divided Designing Your Life's Roadmap into 3 parts. Let's talk a little about some of the chapters, shall we?
Sure.
We've touched on the Pathfinder and the Partner Navigator, which are included in part one. So let's go on to part two, On the Road Pathways. You have 8 pathways. What is the relationship pathway?
The relationship pathway is looking for you to determine what is your relation with yourself, with your significant other, if you have one, your relationship with your work colleagues, and your relationship with your family, and last, your relationship with your creator.
And the health pathway?
The health pathway is about your self maintenance, your self love of yourself. I had a friend named Tanya who loved to take care of everyone else. However, when about 10, 12 years now, Tanya unfortunately died of a heart attack because Tanya never took care of herself.
Right.
And the health pathway is about you. You really need to stop and take care of yourself
Yeah,
first before you can take care of others.
absolutely. Absolutely. And what is the legacy pathway?
The legacy pathway is what you want to leave behind. At the end of the day, at the end of your life, how do you want to be remembered?
Good point. Good point. Part three is the roadmap, creating the route for your personal journey. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, part three is after one and two, you've really figured out your voice. You've figured out your private voice, your voice of your head, which is
Mhm.
based on false beliefs, ideas, and concept, the voice of your heart, which tells you the truth, and the exhaust of your mouth, which really speaks what the public want to hear. And
Mhm.
what we want to do in part three is own everything about you, about your warts, your pimples, and everything, and be okay with who you are.
Right. I love this. I love this. Let's talk a little bit about you now, Heather D. Mahoney. To the world, you had it all, a husband, a baby boy, a well-paying job, good friends and family. But the world didn't see the reality, a marriage you hated, a job you despised, and friends who barely knew you. It took a near catastrophic health emergency and your husband's sudden demand for a divorce to make you see the truth. But isn't that how it happens? We're thrown into complete chaos and our world turns upside down, but we seem to come out the other side stronger and with a clearer idea of what we want. I think we have to go through hell, as it were, to wake up. What do you reckon?
Absolutely. You do have to go through that long and winding road to figure out who you are. And for me, it was the pregnancy and it was the ex-husband wanting a divorce. But what it made me realize was like, oh my goodness, I was really living a life of pretend.
Mm,
I wasn't being myself.
yeah.
And all of these incidents or occurrences in my life, learning lessons, allowed me to accept all of those things that were, oh, they were really great. Not
Mm,
so much in the moment, but it really allowed me to own myself.
yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, it's how you look at you go through these troubled times and you think at the time, oh my God, this is awful. How am I ever going to get through it? But when you look back on it, you think, well, thank God that happened because otherwise I wouldn't be who I am now.
Exactly.
So you redirected and reoriented yourself onto a new path. Now, as a certified life coach and certified passion test facilitator, you share the navigational tools you discovered in designing your life's roadmap. I have to ask, what is a certified passion test facilitator?
A certified passion test facilitator is someone who is able to help you to identify your top five passions.
Okay.
And for me, the first time I took the passion test, it allowed me to identify which was watching my son grow up to be the man who was meant to be. I
Oh,
swore up and down that was my number one passion, but I found out in life it was a marker to my passions, not my passion.
okay. That's interesting. So, how does someone take this test?
Well, they see me or they talk to me to do that. And by the way, I should say the passion test is one test you'll never fail because you only at the end you only find out what is right for you or what your heart tells. And it's based on one question. In the eighth, I use the eighth category as a marker for the passion test. I didn't create the passion test, but I used those categories as the roadmap.
Can you give us an idea of some results that you've achieved with your clients, please?
Some results I've achieved with my clients is self-acceptance of who they are,
Mm.
owning their voice, and the confidence, peace, and joy to really live life as they defined it to be.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, it's a gift to give people that. It really is. So now let's go back to your book. So who is your target audience?
My target audience are someone like me. Maybe you were in a situation that you felt stuck, you didn't know what to do, where to go, or how to do it, or you had some life challenges, maybe a divorce or relationship, and then death in the family or something that
Mhm.
caused you to take a pause and says, what am I doing here? That person is my ideal client.
Is there a particular author or book that inspired you to write Designing Your Life's Roadmap?
Well, the author of The Passion Test is Janet Bray Atwood and Chris Atwood. But when I got down to the core of it, the music of the Eagles, Don Henley, really inspired me to really take the journey because what I really wanted was to have that peaceful, easy feeling
Hmm.
and to learn that maybe all those lessons that I was learning in life wasn't really wasted time.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I love the Eagles too. You've received some wonderful feedback for designing your life's roadmap, including this is a book everyone should have. It taught me self-love, self-acceptance, and to get out of my comfort zone and go for what I really want. And this book is a must-read if you're feeling stagnant in your career, relationships, or health. Put yourself on track today by grabbing this book. It will make all the difference. It's very easy to read and understand. Tell me, what was the best moment for you, Heather? The first review or the first sale, and why?
The best review I had was, and if I could remember the reviewer, it'd be great, but I can't. But but what they said was that, as you just said, it was easy, pragmatic steps that one could use to help them define their roadmap or what they wanted.
Mm,
And for me personally, it was like, oh my God, they got it.
yeah,
And, and it wasn't a family or a friend that said it. It was like, oh, wow, I really did something great.
yeah.
And for me, that was the best review.
Yeah, I can understand that because it's lovely to have friends and family who love your book. But when you've got a complete stranger who leaves a good review, it's like, oh, wow.
Yes.
I know, I know. So where can Book Talk Radio Club's listeners purchase Designing Your Life's Roadmap?
You can purchase the design and robot on Amazon. And if you just put in Heather D. Mahoney, it will pop up, or you could put in the title, Designing Your Life's Roadmap, and that will pop up as well.
And you have a website?
I do. It's roadmapheather.com.
Lovely. All right, well, thank you, Heather. Please come back on Book Talk Radio Club again. I'd love to chat with you and hear more. In the meantime, good luck for the future. And thank you, everyone, for listening to Book Talk Radio Club. Lovely to speak to you, Heather.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, bye now.
Bye.